You have to volunteer to become a test pilot.
So no compromise on quality.
Yes. So I was made to fly two different aircraft which I have never flown before. Operation Sindhu just finished. Many of the weapons that were used were test flown by me. We define the envelope of the aircraft or the system.
So where do you go and test it?
You test it on a firing range. To first drop dumb bombs at certain envelope to see that it is safe separation.
We try to make it foolproof.
We want to make it foolproof.
So how do you fly an aircraft without being trained on it?
That is what you are trained for. And we were inside a red sandstorm for 3 hours. They are all machines. And I got airborne and selected the undercarriage up. So only the main wheels were down and the nose.
Won't you get priority landing?
I had to get the nose under control so that it doesn't drop and, break the nose.
You have to take split-second decision.
We are grilled day in and day out by instructors. If I tell you, then I would have to kill you.
Group Captain Ajay Menon, retired, one of India's finest test pilots, has flown 28 aircraft types from Jaguars and Su-30s to the legendary vintage birds. A distinguished experimental test pilot, he has led some of India's most significant and high-precision flight test missions. With over 4,000 flying hours across frontline squadrons and advanced test assignments, he remains a key contributor to India's evolving aviation ecosystem. Before we dive in, please subscribe to this channel. And for your benefit, the entire audio experience of this podcast is available on Spotify. Enjoy the show. Hi Ajay, welcome to my podcast. Hey, you are a TP Ajay.
Yes.
क्या होता है टीपी क्या चीज़ होती है और how does one become a TP, Ajay? Can you just tell that?
Firstly, thank you. This is my first podcast too, so I'm also very excited and share with you the world of test pilot. TP actually stands for test pilot, and in the world there are
stylish way of putting as TP, huh?
Yes.
Okay, ठीक है.
So there are only about 8 recognized test pilot school in the world. One is the Empire Test Pilot School in London, then there is EPNER in France, then there is US Navy Test Pilot School, US Air Force Test Pilot School, the Indian Air Force Test Pilot School, and the Brazilian Test Pilot School. So you see aviators, there are very few in numbers, and out of all these test pilots, there are just about 8 to 10 people who pass out every year. So test pilot are even rarer. So we are a rare breed of aviators. So that is a test pilot.
How are they different from a fighter pilot? Or a normal pilot? I think
they call them line pilot. People who are in the operational units.
So can we call it conventional pilots?
No, they are line pilots. Okay. And test pilots are again of 2 types: experimental test pilots and production test pilot. What we learn when we have to graduate after 1 year of our training, we become experimental test pilot, where we are trained to fly not only the aircrafts that are already existing, but also fly aircrafts which have never been flown by anyone. They are called the prototype aircraft.
Okay, so all aircraft not flown by anyone.
Yes.
So why do such aircraft exist?
No, for example, LCA. When we first made the LCA, nobody has ever flown that before. So it is the test crew, which comprises a team of test pilot and test engineers who have designed the aircraft and with the help of the designers. And now the test crew will undertake the production and the prototype flying of the aircraft. So this is where the test crew is different from the line pilots.
So if I can define it in a simple term, a line pilot, as you say, is a pilot who flies an aircraft which is already tested and is in use.
Tested and certified.
And certified, that's important. Whereas test pilot is one who tests an aircraft which has not been tested for its airworthiness.
Correct.
So which means अगर हमको कोई एक नया एयरक्राफ्ट बनाना है या वो एयरक्राफ्ट में कुछ एनहांसमेंट करनी है, वो एनहांसमेंट हो गई, उसके बाद उसको टेस्ट करने के लिए टेस्ट पायलट बनता है.
Absolutely.
Okay, understood. तो that means it is a very complicated flying, Ajay. It is not something which is very simple, correct?
Yes, it is. But that is why you have this training of 1 year.
Okay.
Where you are taught the nuances. In order to become a test pilot, you need certain qualification. That is, you need to have nearly 1,000 hours of flying. You should have 6 to 7 years of flying experience. You you should be at least green. That is your
You said how many hours of flying?
1,000 hours, total 1,000 hours. So you
to
need that
get,
kind of experience.
1,000 hours, how
6
much?
to 7 years.
Okay, 7 years.
About 7 years is the time you generally get your 1,000 hours on type. You have got your instrument rating green. That means you have some professional competency that you need to reach. Then in the Indian Air Force, unlike the other courses, like be it a qualified flying instructor or a fighter strike leader or FCL, they are all, you are nominated for that course based on your performance, your ACR, and that is ACR is your annual confidential report and your performance. So you are kind of chosen for that particular course. Whereas for a test pilot, it is completely voluntary. Okay. You have to volunteer to become a test pilot. You apply, you get called for selection, and that selection process itself is about 2 to 3 weeks. So when you come for your selection, first you do is give your written exam. Everybody gives 2 papers. One is your mathematics, which has basic as well as advanced mathematics. And second is your professional. That means, like I am a pilot, so I will be asked questions on aerodynamics, basic, avionics, anything related to flying or aviation under the sky will be asked. So it is a long process that...
It's a rigorous selection.
Selection is rigorous. To prepare for that selection itself is quite rigorous. You have to prepare if you are coming for a selection. Once you are written the exam, they give out the result the next day. Okay. So people who have been filtered out remain there. So after your first day, you are told after the exam that so many people have been selected. Those people, each of them are given a topic of their choice based on which they can give a presentation. They are given 1 or 2 days to prepare. So you have to do research on that topic and you have to present that topic. And when you present that topic, it's a half an hour presentation which will be attended by the entire staff and many other people who are already in the flight test squadron, who will be evaluating your research capability and the depth of your knowledge. Though you speak only for half an hour, the question answer session goes on for about 1 hour, 2 hours, depending on how much interested they are in you and how much of knowledge they are trying to check you have.
Extract. So they are basically checking the depth of your knowledge.
Yes, so this is one of the parts. So this is the second part.
Okay.
Now comes the third part. Then what happens is, I was a Jaguar operational pilot on Jaguar. I was made to fly 2 different aircraft which I have never flown before. So I was given...
This is during this 3 weeks?
Selection time.
That 3 weeks which
3 weeks. So this is the selection process that I am telling you. So I was made to fly an AN-32, a transport aircraft. I was given a very minor exercise to check the range and endurance, what is the range at different heights and all that. And a MiG-21 to check what is the stall characteristics. This is a very few examples. There are many exercises like that. Okay. They are not asking you, checking you for your testing capability. They are trying to check how is your adaptability in a completely new cockpit. Because as a test crew, you are expected to master the aircraft within 2 to 3 sorties. Because within that sortie, you are going to take the aircraft to the edge of the envelope. Okay. So they are saying how your approach is, how comfortable you are in the a cockpit which is not very familiar to you, and how you execute your... so this is the third part of the selection. Then comes the fourth part. After you have finished all this, you are called for a viva. So like viva, I am sitting in front of you. On the other side, there are 20 staff members. And only thing that is helping you out is a whiteboard with a marker. Because they will ask you questions on anything. Somebody could be asking you a question about related to aircraft, the avionic systems, and suddenly one person will say, okay, Menon, go integrate sine square theta. So, so that is the kind of range of questions that is asked. So they could ask you anything under the sun. Again, they are trying to see how you are performing under pressure and what is your depth of knowledge that you have on various subjects. So they'll keep probing you till you say, I am not aware, or I will come back to you. So that is the gauging technique. So this entire process takes about 2 to 3 weeks. And then a final list is made. Again, that comes as a signal. Okay. Squadron leader Ajay Menon at that point in time is that you are selected for 31 FTC, report for so-and-so date.
Great.
So that is a selection process in the IAF. It could be even for fighters. Even transport pilots are now applying and coming into the test pilot course.
So you said that basically they are testing you in an environment which you are not familiar with. जैसे आपने example दिया था MiG-21s you were given, but MiG-21s you would have flown, na?
In MOF2 stage, that was a Type 77.
Okay.
That was long time back. That was in 2002, and I came from 1999, and the selection was happening in 2007, 2008.
Okay.
So that's quite a time.
Quite a gap,
so we haven't flown. So they just want to see, and it's a tricky selection process. And also depends on the number of aircraft and the types of aircraft available at that point in time.
You also said कि मतलब transport pilots also come. So how do transport pilots fly fighter aircraft?
Yeah, they are expected to fly, and they are tested. It's not that like we as fighter pilots, after doing or during the TP course, we fly even the transport aircraft.
Yes, you are.
There are many exercises.
So, which means if you are a TP, you should be able to fly all the aircraft, including choppers.
Choppers is a different ball game altogether. We go for an air experience.
Okay.
So we have flown, but not as captains. But we get our exposure on rotary wing also, and but it's a great experience.
Okay. And you said it's a voluntary course, Ajay.
Yes.
So ऐसा कभी हुआ है क्या कि IAF में there are certain number of vacancies for a test pilot, and because not many people volunteered, it was left vacant. Has it ever happened?
No, I would say on the contrary, it's the other way around. Even if there are 30 people who have applied for 8 seats or 10 seats, if the batch does not pass the filter, they will select probably only 5.
Okay.
Just not that you have to select 8, so all 8 will be. So
no compromise on quality.
Yes. So this is quite a, and the entire thing is, as you said, recorded, and so because there is no partiality on in any way, it is a full open book. Whatever you can know and do, and selection is very open, and there is no compromise as far as selection for test pilot or test engineer.
So they let a particular vacancy remain, then fill it with a person who though they think they don't meet the mark, they let it
absolutely
remain.
And like in any organization during the course, if it is felt that the person is not up to the mark, there have been so many cases where he has been
attrition is
quite
there
where because finally it is the safety which is more important. Most of the case where it is a person is not able to cope up both flying as well as studies, because there's a lot of studies which is involved and a lot of flying. So it is a grueling course of 1 year, and some people are
okay. This
not
you are
cut
telling
out
us
for
about the course. So you said 1 year wala course.
Yes.
After 3 weeks, the selection. The examination where they filter you, whether they see whether you are worthy of undergoing that 1 year training.
That's true.
Then you said you get an intimation through signal messaging, and you are informed that you have been shortlisted. उसके बाद अपनी training शुरू हो जाती है. It's for a duration of a year.
Yes, because now depending on which are the aircrafts available in the test pilot school, we are supposed to do a mechanical flight convert, MCF they call it.
Okay.
Where we have to learn the technical details about the aircraft. So as a test crew, what people do for 1 month, we do for...
No, before that I have to come in. I have to ask you, like, is there a particular period that it starts from Jan or and ends, or how?
Yes,
what is the cycle of this
it's
course?
March, April it starts. It's the entire full 1 year course that it happens.
So it is always in April it starts, and it gets over the next March. It's always like this.
It's always like
so this. Even so, you say you are selected in the previous year in the month of say August. I'm giving you. So you wait for
Absolutely.
good 7 months.
Not only August, you could wait even for a year. If somebody has been selected for a particular course, and he has made the cut during the selection process, there is even leeway given that you finish that particular thing and come back.
What particular what?
Like for example, say it's a staff college or something like that. I'm just giving a. So it's very flexible as far as once you have made the cut is concerned. So there is also an age limit. But if you are a qualified flying instructor, and that age limit is again expanded by a year or two, because you have done a professional course before. So you have given your 2 years, 3 years for that. So
what is the age limit, Ajay?
This is 35 if my memory serves me correct, and 38 in case you are have done a professional course. So
why is there an age limit?
We have certain criteria that needs to be met, and that criteria has been laid out in the AFO.
No, is it because that as you progress in age that your body cannot endure it or something like that?
Nothing of that sort. It's more to do with your professional career. Because after certain years, you're supposed to be going in a certain way. So all that has been decided and written down in the AFO. So it is going as per the
AFO is the
Air Force orders. Yeah.
Okay. That's a manual which is referred.
Yes.
Okay.
And it is the age limit and all that is what is being followed in the entire world. It is not that it's specifically to the Indian Air Force.
It's a universal
It's
thing.
a universal age limit which is there. Could be plus minus 1 year here and there. But that's it.
Because you have a lot to contribute thereafter also
Absolutely.
in that services. And if you are taken at the last, say, in your 40s, or then you don't have any residual service to serve.
Left, yes.
Okay, that sense sounds very logical. You spoke about the course, that it's a 1 year course. How is it? Is it with rigorous, or what do you?
It is very rigorous because I said it's 1 year course. Normally in squadrons you are flying one particular type of aircraft. Imagine during this entire course, at any given time, you are flying 3 types of aircraft. You are actually flying one, you are studying another, and you are preparing for the third aircraft. Notwithstanding all these 3 aircrafts, you are also giving your theory exams, be it basic aerodynamics, advanced aerodynamics, mathematics, that continues. So as I said, it's a course which is done both by pilots and engineers. So they make test pilots and flight test engineers. So the thing that goes around is they actually make half engineers out of pilots and half pilots out of engineers.
Okay, so both of you will appreciate each other.
Yes, because finally, as I said, it is a teamwork. It is a test crew which makes a system airworthy and operational for a particular aircraft or a particular weapon system. It is a test crew which has comprises of not only designers but also flight test engineers and test pilots.
Okay. So during your training, like you said, test engineers. So do you interact also with engineers from other PSUs and all?
Not during the training,
Okay.
but we are given exposure what all happens there. It's like you have study tours where you are taken to industrial area, industries, HAL, ADA, DRDO. We are given exposure of what kind of work happens there. But once you become a test pilot, there is a heavy interaction between the designers, the flight test engineers, and flight test pilots are like one team.
Okay, so who designs it? And like, if we're supposing now we want a particular feature or we want a new aircraft.
So who decides that? That is decided by the customer. Who's the customer? The Indian Air Force. Indian Air Force says that I require an aircraft which is capable of doing this, or I require a weapon system which is capable of doing this, or I require a new weapon system which should be fitted on this particular aircraft. So that is all requirement given by the Indian Air Force or any other customer, which is called the ASTE, this is the Air Staff Requirements. So that is the guideline for any designer that, okay, this is what the customer wants. So how do we go about it? So there are a lot of design stage which happens.
May I just come in? So supposing the ASR has been decided by the, like air staff requirements have been decided by the IF. So now you act as an interface? Or
No.
Then how, like now you become a test pilot?
Yes, now again test pilots, you could be, like right now I have retired from the Indian Air Force and I have joined the HAL. So when I was in the Indian Air Force as a test pilot, I was the customer.
Okay.
Now I am a test pilot for the HAL. I am the contractor.
Okay.
So the requirements are different. It's not different. The role is different. I am now representing the company which will make an equipment which is required by the
customer.
IAF.
Okay. So when you, as a TP, you become a representative of the customer, correct?
Yeah, you can say, no, I am the representative of my company, but I know what the customer requires because at one point in time.
As a TP, test pilot of IAF.
I am the customer. I will check what the designers are, or the design house is giving me. So this is the ASQR that was defined by the IAF. This is the aircraft that has been made, or the system which has been made by the industry. I, as the customer, will check, that is the test pilot will check. They have flight trials, they call it. We do flight test trials of various equipments, weapon system or aircraft to see whether they are meeting the requirement and all the points are ticked.
Ajay, help me understand this. There's a, if you want a new aircraft, it is not something which happens in a jiffy. It would require years of planning and designing. So that's a very long process, I can imagine. But if you have to do enhancements, say, supposing now I want a enhancement A in particular aircraft. Now, you tell me the first stage. First stage would be the designing stage.
First is the feasibility. Is it even feasible? For example, like everybody talks of BrahMos on Su-30. Case in point. So first we have to do a feasibility study whether is it even possible. The design house gives a plan.
Design house, you mean to say
ADA, HAL, DRDO. They say yes, it is possible because this is what we are going to do. In order to achieve this particular thing, this is how we are going to strengthen the aircraft in form of parts. In order to strengthen, we will do this. Now there is a certifying agency like the CEMILAC. They are the military certifying agency for the Indian military industry. They will check whether the design house has carried out these checks and they are safe. Therefore, they are airworthy. So they
will be having a manual for certifying
everything,
this, that it will be as per protocol.
So it is, we say, call it military standards. There are certain military standards which need to be achieved. So there is a well thought process which is there, and people are there who are not related to the industry as a third party, looking totally independently to check the safety and the veracity of the checks which has been carried out. So only once that happens, say it's a new system which is coming on a different aircraft which was not our original part of, he gives you something called the FCN or the flight clearance.
So help me understand, Ajay. Each time the stage progresses, the CEMILAC comes in, is it? Or do they come at the end?
No, during the development stage, it is there for every sortie, every flight. Because straight away when you get the aircraft airborne with a new system, you do not fly the entire envelope.
No, I didn't see. Sortie will come later. I'm talking about the design stage. I'm not talking. See, we have. I'm just giving my example.
So, let me go back again. That has been designed, a plan has been worked out, the tests have been decided, and the feasibility of the test is feasible. And then you actually make that, say, a new pylon which will hold that heavy weapon, and you fit on the aircraft, do kind of stress.
If you can explain pylon is something.
Pylon is the part of the aircraft on which the weapon is fitted.
Or the bomb is put.
Or something like that. So, simple language for everyone. So if I have
something
to design
like an adapter which you just
absolutely. So if something new has to be designed, it has to be designed because it has to withstand all the kind of aerodynamic pressures that the aircraft is subjected to. Su-30 goes up to 2 Mach. So will it withstand 2 Mach? Will it withstand those kinds of movement that it does during high G maneuvers? So the stress is all that is measured through CFD, that is computer fluid dynamics. So it's a very scientific method. Everything is checked. You predict, then you predict that numbers, whether those numbers which you have got in prediction are safe. If they are safe, you validate it by doing the flight trials and getting the same data. And you say, see, I predicted this and this is what I've got, they are matching. So you go ahead.
So Ajay, again, we may जानना चाह रही हूँ. So like say you said that this weapon system in your example which you gave, that this is the weapon system we want to introduce in a particular aircraft. So now they have made a blueprint. It's just on the paper. So the first design stage.
As I said, it is now done on the computer.
Correct.
Design,
I meant was that it's on the computer. So we go with computer, that it's on the computer. Now the CEMILAC comes and certifies that, is it? First?
No. We give the results to CEMILAC to show them how safe it is.
How do you give a result without flying it or without
because
using it?
Because that is what a CFD does. It predicts what these stresses.
This particular software has that feature.
Yes, this software is that feature which gives you a prediction of the values that you are likely to encounter in flight at different stages of flight.
So how accurate is the CFD?
Very accurate because we have been doing all this, and that is the kind of confidence we have got with this new software and system, which you said initially, like you do it on a paper, which we used to do mathematically long time back. Now we have graduated with so much of advancement in software, we are able to predict it much accurately and much better with the help of these systems.
And who uses the CFD?
The designers and the flight test engineers, which are cross-checked by our test engineers. To see whether
is it not done by DRDO?
Yes, they
do. So if you can explain, Ajay, so we are now at the stage of that we have planned a design and it's there on the CFD, which is in the software. Now the CFD, who owns it? It is owned by...
It's owned by DRDO, which is again a certified software. It is not
so it's a lab. It's a lab in DRDO which will have the CFD.
So like again, it is so scientific. Like there are the air is flowing over a wing in a particular way. All that has been captured in that, and you can predict I'm sure you must have seen in many of the aircraft models that they show in the YouTube and all that, where they show that multicolored aircraft, blue, green, with air flowing on top of it, especially for Formula 1 cars and all that. This is a similar kind of thing where they are giving you the data of what exactly the aircraft or the system is likely to experience at various Mach numbers, various heights, various speeds, and various aircraft air densities.
So now we have had the design. Now when CFD is there, test pilot, test engineer, the DRDO rep or HAL rep, and then Semilac rep, they all come and they look at that design.
They look at the data and they say how safe it is and how it is going to be executed, what the flight test plan is going to be. So flight test plan is again a very systematic way in which we approach. As I said, we define the envelope of the aircraft or the system, but you don't go directly there. You start from the center of the envelope where it is a safe regime. You get the data, you get the result, you get as good with your prediction, and you're confident, you start expanding it both ways till you reach the edge of the envelope, and that is how you clear the system for the entire envelope, what it is.
So when you're referring to envelopes, or
max speed, max height, max G, that you can,
So it's basically the maximum you can go with a particular feature is what you're referring to, envelope.
It could be not only weapon, even for the avionics, the maximum height, the maximum speed, the maximum temperature at which it can operate, all those things.
So the design maybe say, if like for all of us to understand, supposing the envelope is this size, I'm just saying, and your design is this size. So you, assuming, I'm just saying that whatever enhancement we want is this size. So you are trying to say, when you're saying is pushing the envelope, is that only you we can only up till here.
We will decide based on the data and the prediction and the actual data that we've got, how much that system can be taken to. Now, whether that is acceptable or not acceptable is as per the ASQR. It had asked for X, but I'm not able to get X, I'm not able to get only Y. Is that acceptable, not acceptable, is a different debate altogether.
So then you go to the customer,
then you make if that is not acceptable, then it's a design change. So that is why it takes time to make your own system or integrate a different system on a different aircraft.
Okay, now chalo, we have cleared. Now I'm giving you an example. We have cleared the design, all of them, all the agency have cleared it, and that weapon system has been cleared. Now what is now you all conduct the sortie?
No, we do ground trials. So now we fit the system onto the aircraft.
Okay, now this designing, now see, the design which was there only in the software, now it gets translated into actuals, correct?
Actuals, yes.
So that happens in the factory?
Yes, say as I said, we have designed a new pylon.
Okay.
And now you fit, it was designed like this, it's supposed to fit, you see whether it actually fits.
So who designs, now who constructs this pylon?
The design house itself.
Which is DRDO?
DRDO or HAL, they are capable of designing and making the whatever components or parts that we ask for.
They have the wherewithal
to do anything, yes.
Okay, so now they take a certain number of a certain amount of time. Now, after that, what is the stage? They have done it. So
once they have made the item, now that has to be certified to be put on the aircraft.
Correct.
There are n number of tests that it has to undergo. The stress, the brake test and all that. It's a long list.
So it's done simulated? It's simulated?
No, actual.
Okay.
There are pylons which are even broken to see actually when does it break.
Okay.
A wing which is made, a new wing which is made for any new aircraft, they are stressed to a level to see when it actually breaks. What you had predicted, as I said, and when is it actually breaking. So even on ground, you have to prove that my predictions are as good as actuals. Only then will it be allowed to be put on the aircraft.
So predictions are done by the DRDO scientists?
By scientists and the software that is there with them.
Okay, so they predict and they want to match it to the actuals?
And it is actually checked on ground before it is put on the aircraft.
Okay, now it's put on the aircraft. Say I just finished for the sake of the example, it's Sukhoi 30. Say, so it's put now. Now
that's where the test crew comes now. Now that it has come with all the certification and all the clearances have come, we look at, okay, what was the requirement? This is the item which has come. We do a thorough study as a team of what is that equipment, what it is supposed to do and what it is capable of. So we start from zero that, okay, if it is fitted on the aircraft, does it have the wherewithal to fit on the aircraft which is already there? Is the fit good? It's supposed to be in a certain way. So there are a lot of ground checks, a lot of checks which are carried out with respect to the aircraft system. Now that entire thing is supposed to interact with the aircraft system. Is it interacting? Is there some leak voltage which is coming here or there? So we have puffers to see which bursts in case there are some voltage leak, which is a design flaw or something like that. So it's a big process.
So this ground testing is done in ASTE or is it done in the lab?
Both places, in the sense whoever is doing the trial, they are doing it wherever it is.
Okay.
So even at ASTE, if they are testing something at HAL, they'll come and do those ground tests in HAL. First, before that, they do it on the lab. The same system for, say, if it's the mission computer. Before you put it on the aircraft, the mission computer is taken on a rig, which is an avionics rig, which is simulating as an aircraft system. Now you put the mission computer off, on, off, with various voltage to see how it reacts, whether it is going to damage any other system or not. So all those tests are done before
so
it is
like
actually.
Mission computer, which you gave an example, it's a small compact thing and that can be accommodated anywhere. But whereas an aircraft and the pylon, which you just said, it requires a huge space. So that would be tested in that lab, which is something like a hangar kind of, it would be looking like.
Absolutely.
And so it is tested then. Now it's tested. When it's tested, the test pilot comes in or
the test crew comes in.
Test crew in as in what
the
do you mean
flight
by
test engineer and the engineers and the test pilot.
Okay.
They both will come in and they will start doing their own test.
All right.
Individually, we have our own format of flight test schedule, which we have decided based on what kind of system we are testing.
Okay.
Whether it's a weapon system, it's an avionics system, or it is the aircraft by itself. So we have a laid down way of testing it. So we test it for all the tick marks that it's supposed to have before it starts flying.
Okay,
so
now you have tested it. Now what we have tested, you find it, it's everything, everyone is given a go ahead. And now what is the next thing which happens?
Then we start up the aircraft.
Start up the aircraft means what? You
start,
fly the sortie?
No, you just do a engine start.
Okay.
Because till now, the aircraft, the systems, whatever we were testing, were tested with the external source. How will that system react with the aircraft source? That's the aircraft battery, aircraft generator, aircraft inverter. So we test that also. So it's a long drawn process and very methodical to see, okay, now it is tested in the lab, everything is working good. It is tested with the external power, everything is looking good. Now we start up the aircraft to see how it is behaving with its own power.
Okay.
Then we have something called the EMI, EMC test, where you see the interference and the reaction with the other equipments on board.
Okay.
So if you're testing a mission computer, how is it reacting with the RT system? How is it reacting with the avionics system? It should not interfere and give a false signal or a false message. So that is a thorough check which is carried out on ground with the engine started up. Then depending on what system it is, you may even
we'll go with your example only of the pilot. We'll stay on this example and you please build up, Ajay, because so that we understand, that from conceptualization to the execution and final clearance and what are the phases. So while sticking to the example, Ajay, you said that startup, you use that word?
Yeah, we start up the aircraft check the aircraft and check the equipment, how it is behaving with the internal power source of the aircraft.
Okay.
And how it is interfering with the other systems of the aircraft.
Yeah.
So once everything is scanned, it's a meticulous process. Everything is checked one by one. Everything is ticked. Nothing is there. Then a report is given. Again, the report is submitted to Semilac, and then only a flight clearance is given for probably a taxi test.
Okay.
Where now you move the aircraft with that system.
Okay.
So since we were talking of a weapon system, it will be hung on the ground and all that. You move and you see the aircraft.
You move, that means you are only on the runway. You
You're
don't
you're not getting airborne till now. Yes.
So you're just in you're taxiing
the entire system is instrumented.
Okay.
Instrumented is like real time. There is something called a telemetry. That is when I am in the aircraft started up, everything is being monitored by the flight test engineer, who's the flight director at a different area where real stream data is going to him. So he's seeing my engine parameters, he's seeing the various health of the other systems, he's seeing the system under test which is being there. He's monitoring each and every parameters. He says, okay, Menon, all looks good, looks good, it's a go. clear for taxi. So all this is planned well in advance. It is not happening on the go. We have done this ground planning probably a week before even we sat on the aircraft or even seen the system. We know what system we are going to check. We know what are the challenges that we are likely to face. So we have prepared 1 week in advance before that, which is why we needed to learn about the system, what it is capable of, what it is supposed to give, whether it is meeting the ASQR requirements or not.
Okay.
So it is a
So after planning, now you've got you start taxiing, and then you.
It's like taxing is an example I give because we are talking of one system which is, say, a new brake system.
Yeah.
You have traditional brakes have been changed with carbon fiber brakes. So you won't straight away take off and...
no, but even with this pylon enhancement which is there, you still have to taxi, or if there is a...
It is a call that the test crew will take whether it is required or not. See, for example, if you're talking of weapon and pylon, you even need to do a drop test. When the aircraft in the static condition drops a weapon, it is supposed to be clear of the aircraft now in a zero flight condition. That is no airstream. There is a prediction which has happened. So if you see a lot of... the separation from the aircraft. So if you see a lot of aircraft, you will see a lot of cross marks on the wing, on the weapon itself. So it is... Like you're recording me, we record it with a high-speed camera.
Okay.
Where we actually drop not the real bomb.
So what does that cross indicate?
It is the distance between the pylon and the wing and the rolling axis of during the drop, whether it is rolling, not rolling. Every motion of the weapon is all tested and checked. And again, is it as per prediction? Because we've already predicted how it will behave. So we have that confidence.
If there is any deviation,
then we have to
their predictions have to be improved. Now that means okay.
No, whether we have not only improved, we have to see whether that's a safe or an unsafe criteria itself. Whether you can take it for flight or a drop. It is likely to hit the... There are so many videos where you see the bomb dropping and hitting the mother aircraft itself.
Oh my God.
That is in the older case. And it's something which is inherent. Because again, the proof of the pudding is actually when the actual drop happens. So our whole idea is to predict so accurately that such incidents don't happen.
Okay.
But it is something that
can't be avoided.
But we are very sure that it is minimized to the maximum by all these processes.
Okay, now this is done. Now what is the next step? Sortie?
Yes, sortie. After all that, again, after every
sortie
ground
means
test...
to fly an aircraft is called as sortie.
Yes, sortie, yes. So again, as I said, after each and every test on ground, we have to submit a report to the Semilac to see this is what was planned, this is what we have achieved, good to go. He says, okay, go to the next stage. Next stage again, this is what was planned, this is what we have achieved, good to go. Now we have done everything good for a flight. However, you will not go more than 500 knots. You will not go more than 0.7 Mach. I want the data of the stress on the pylons which are there, because it's all, as I said, all have been instrumented. So when I get airborne,
they tell you the parameters of what are the things,
yes,
how you should fly.
As you said, this is the envelope of the aircraft. We start from the inner smaller one. Because here we have predicted this is going to be the values of the stress on the pylon or the weapon, whichever we are testing. So we get airborne, maintain those parameters, go to only till that parameters. Telemetry is checking the parameters. He says predicted was so and so. What we have actually got is so and so. Matching. If it is real-time telemetry, there is a provision that you can even expand your envelope in the flight. That again, the clearance has to be given by Semilac. So if you are good with 0.7 Mach data, you can go up to 0.8. You see the data matching with prediction, safe within limits, go up to 0.85. So that happens flight-wise.
Okay, it's subsequent.
So still we have not dropped any weapon. We have only carriage and handling. This is what we call. You are seeing, whether we are able to carry that weapon or that system to the envelope that has been defined. So first step after all the ground tests, startup, taxi, flight is first clear the envelope. Whether you can carry that weapon to the envelope that it has been designed for.
Okay. And that is tested in different sorties.
Many
sorties. Yes. Now finally, supposing you have now done the stress test, say whatever is the inner envelope was, now you have gone up till the maximum wherever you could go, and you feel that this is fine, this is safe. Now what happens?
Now we do avionics testing. What we did on ground, now we put on the system to see how it is interacting with the aircraft system, with the like radar or the mission computer. So we have again tests for that. whether we are able to feed in data, whether...
So we can't just go alongside, I'm just asking.
Again, that depends on which kind of system you are testing.
No, this system which we are testing, we are in our example. In our example,
no, if it is a weapon system, it has to be done in a very graduated manner.
Okay.
Because weapon is not a very, it's a thing that you cannot take shortcut with. Certain things have been defined and it has been laid down.
Okay.
It has to go in that sense, and there is no shortcut in that.
Okay.
Even if it takes time, but the safety is paramount, which is why most of the time you'll see all the aircrafts have with a chase. He's always cross-checking whether anything has come off loose or not, especially the first flight. If the carriage is okay, is it come off? In case something is amiss, somebody is there to look out and give you a... So it is always planned maneuver. So it is first you have to clear the carriage and handling before you start the avionics integration of the system in
then
test.
Avionics ke baad instruments checked, is it?
Yeah, you check whether it is talking to the aircraft system, because finally you have to target a particular area with the data given by the aircraft. Whether that data with the aircraft is going correctly to the weapon system or not. If I say I want the bomb to drop here, I have to make sure that this is the position that is going to the bomb. Whether he's interpreting that point X as not this and this, all this is checked. So again, instrumented, we see, this was what was asked for, what did he record?
An instrument, if you have to define in a layman's term, instrument is basically the meters which you see and which tells you in what
I would say
altitude.
the telemetry that I was talking about, it has a recorder which is an additional equipment which is kept in the test aircraft, which is recording the aircraft height, speed, the data which is flowing in the aircraft mission computers. All that is being recorded, and real time it is being transmitted to the either the telemetry, or it is being recorded for post-flight detection and study, to see whether it is the correct data which is going to the system or not. That thing is actually taken off when the system becomes operational on the aircraft. This is only for testing.
Okay. Now, supposing it's been cleared now, say avionics cleared, weapons cleared, instruments cleared, and you have flown, so all the sorties all cleared, or in case whatever say observation you had in this process, you will have all this process.
There will be so many observation. All has to be cleared before you go to the next step.
Now, what is the next step? You drop the bomb, or what is?
Yes, yeah. If it's like it could be a bomb or it could be a missile. If it's a bomb, then it has to be it will not be a live bomb. It will be a dumb bomb which will has the same CG configuration of the actual bomb without the warhead.
CG configuration?
That is center of gravity. So, every bomb has a certain where the center of gravity is situated. So making sure this is the representative of the actual weapon.
Okay.
So if it is a bomb or a missile, it has to first separate safely from the aircraft.
Absolutely.
For which you have a particular weapon which is kept on a particular pylon. The other pylon will have camera looking at it with the same same cross marks.
Or tell me another thing, Ajay. I just wanted to know that when we say, is it possible that there are two pylons in the aircraft, on the aircraft? We have loaded one. Can the other one can remain unloaded? Will there be a balance of
depending on the type of aircraft, it is capable.
It can balance
yes,
it,
for example, aircrafts like Su-30 and all is capable of carrying
only one side
in a particular configuration, or you need to have a combination of certain things. That's all defined and catered for.
So now when you test, now you are testing say it's a bomb. In our example, we assume that it's a bomb. So now you have to test it. So where do you go and test it? You
test it on a firing range. It could easily be Jaisalmer, the Pokhran range, or it could be Jamnagar, Sarmat range, or it could be even on the sea, depending on what kind of weapon it is.
Okay. And you just one testing, or there are many tests?
Like what we did on the ground. Again, we have to clear the envelope. The drop is not on the maximum speed. You have to start at a safe speed. So there are a lot of weapons which are actually consumed before it is operationally fired. So you have to first drop dumb bombs at certain envelope to see that it is safe separation from, say, the lowest speed 0.4 mark to the max speed 0.95 mark. So you have to make sure that you start from the middle, go to the lower end, go to the higher end, all safe. Now you come to the real bomb or the weapon. So
Ajay, I've understood, say, from conceptualization to production, the phases which it goes, and why your TP is required, because nobody else can do it and you all are trained for it. Tell me something. as you said, that there could be the sorties also, as you've explained, so many sorties are there. There are so many times there are meetings and discussions, and it happens. In your experience, have you seen this period reducing? Because our efficiency has to be only, we can be efficient when the time is also reduced, right? So over a period of so many years, have you seen that these people, all these people, the SMEs, subject matter experts in all these fields, they all come together, and what they used to take, say, 10 years, 15 years back, now it is reduced to, say, 5 years because of the aids, the equipments.
Definitely.
You
With
really
the
think
enhancement of the technology that we have, it has definitely reduced time.
Because each time you all are flying, because it's not just time consuming, it's also expensive, right? Each time.
It is, but safety is paramount.
Correct, but at the cost of, say I am the exchequer, I would say yes, go ahead, clear it, and absolutely with all safety parameters you must clear it, but I'll be very happy if you could clear it, say, in 3 years time instead of 5 years.
The idea is always there. We are always governed by the time.
Okay.
That we need to finish it with a particular time, because again, in the field of aviation, the things are changing so fast.
Absolutely.
If we take 10 years, our system may not be relevant at that point in time. So our aim is always to reduce the time as much as possible within the safe criteria. And it is not only our aim, also the designer's aim and the certifying agency, all are looking so as to reduce the time as much as possible, keeping the entire system safe.
And Ajay, will you be able to tell us how good is our engineers, our test pilot in comparison to world around? How would you rate them? Do you think that we are at par, or we really have to come there in terms of?
See, technology wise, we are all aware we are not at par as compared to, say, the US, but we are on our way.
Okay.
I was in the Air Force. Now I am with the industry, HAL. I am amazed by the talent pool that we have.
Okay.
It is absolutely amazing, and I am only thankful to God that I am still able to do what I like to do, and at the same point continue to learn. There is so much to learn in this field that it actually amazes you. You are a student throughout your life if you are in the field of aviation.
Okay.
So that way,
technology wise we are a little behind, but earnestness wise or capabilities wise we are
there are certain places but we are at par in systems.
Really?
That is we are.
Okay. And which is that we are at par, Ajay?
See, for example, the mission computers that we are talking of, we are designing our own mission computers, which is flying the aircraft. The fly-by-wire logic which is there in the LCA is all homegrown.
Okay.
And touchwood, we have had a good safety record as far as fly-by-wire and all is concerned. If you look at F-22, the Raptor of the US, the Gripen JS-39 of the Swedish aircraft, they all developed a fly-by-wire. They've had incidents and accidents during their development.
And ours is incident-free, is it?
Touchwood, right now it is. And that's because of the safety things that we have put in place, which may, as you said, may take a little more time, but everything is ensured that it is safe.
We try to make it foolproof.
We want to make it foolproof, and we try to make it foolproof. But again, aviation is very unpredictable. Anything can go wrong. Again, we are trained to not to get into a situation where you are not able to retrieve. That is exactly the training what you are taught during the test pilot school.
That's why you have this 1 year.
It's a 1 year of schooling, yes.
Course, and it's a rigorous course where you learn everything about
everything about prototype flying,
yes,
and how you integrate various avionics, and the entire spectrum is covered in that 1 year course.
It's tough,
and it is tough, and it's not that once you finish that 1 year, you know everything. You are still in the beginning of the learning curve. So after I did my course, I was there for another 3 years in the aircraft testing establishment. I was continuously learning, and there is so much to learn. So you grow and you learn when you're in this field. And
in this course which you said, is there attrition? Do the people discontinue?
Yes, they do.
They do?
Yeah, they do.
Because it's tough.
It's tough, and you need to perform and give a certain standard of output which is defined. You are given chances. If you are not able to, you are very very honestly told that it's not your cup of tea.
Okay.
Yes. And people take it very maturely.
Okay.
And there are times when people themselves have said that I am not able to do it. And they have voluntarily left the course also.
Why is it because the 24 hours are not enough, or why
24 hours is not enough?
Not
because
enough.
one thing that is taught during the course is time management.
Yeah.
As I said, you are flying one aircraft, you are converting on the different aircraft, you are evaluating a different system on another aircraft, and
you put under tremendous pressure. And all this you require to do a lot of studies. When you come home, there'll be assignments.
Yes. So again, kudos to the family members to support you during this course.
Okay, so there's a lot of homework given, and you have to make
every day. You are evaluated every day for that 1 year.
So you burn midnight oil, huh?
Absolutely.
So people say, Ajay, फौज ज्वाइन करने के बाद तो पढ़ाई करने की जरूरत नहीं है. ऐसा होता है क्या?
नहीं. अगर आप एविएशन में हो, and if you are a test pilot, you are studying continuously, and you need to.
Yeah.
Because as you said, there is so much of things that you have
your life is at stake,
Yes. So
that brings me to the question: how risky is test flying?
Flying inherently, military flying inherently has its own risks. And as human beings, we are not meant to fly. If we were meant to fly, we would have had wings.
Correct.
So
it
is risky. And again, test crew is the one who decides what is the edge of the envelope for a particular system or a particular aircraft. So we have to take it there to see which is the safe and unsafe zone. The line pilots or the squadron pilots are supposed to maneuver within that safety limits, but somebody has to go there and tell them which is safe and not safe. So what is the flight manuals, whatever the RSD, the release to service documents, the graphs that you keep seeing for different aircraft are all made by test crew, because they know at a certain speed what is the max range, max speed, max G that you can pull based on the safety of the flight.
Okay, so there is a production pilot also there, na?
Yes.
How are they different from
production pilots are people who are doing a shorter duration course on only one type of aircraft.
Okay.
For example, if I was supposed to be a production pilot for Jaguar, I will be taken through a small capsule of course for 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
And
do you go through the same 3 weeks written for production pilots?
No, they are detailed. They are detailed for the course.
Acha, they are detailed.
It's not voluntary. Yes, they are detailed
okay.
for the course, and it is a small duration course, and you are only on one type. And here you are only doing production flying. That is, you are only testing the aircraft, a certified aircraft which is coming out from the factory.
Okay. When you say factory,
that is like HAL is making Jaguars, Mirages,
so
Hawks.
that means overall, I think.
Overall, absolutely.
So
overall.
It can be called the third line servicing, correct?
Yes. So if it is servicing, otherwise, like we were also producing aircrafts like Jaguars and all. We were producing. They're making new aircraft. So those again, as I said, are first checked by the contractor pilots. That is, if I'm working for HAL, the first aircraft is test flown by the industry pilot.
Okay.
We take it to the absolute maximum limit to see whether it is fitting there. Then we give it to the customer pilot, which is the test pilot of the IAF.
Okay.
And he will test again to say, okay, accepted. So this is how it works.
Okay. And so the production pilot, what he does is that only the aircraft which is overhauled by HAL or BRDs.
Yes, they are on that particular type. They are trained on that type. So they do production profile for that type only.
Okay.
They are not experimental test pilots.
So if you can just tell what is first line servicing, second line and third, so that people who are watching understand.
Just put it this way, that first line and second line is generally carried out in the units itself.
One is in like अगर अपन कोई example दें real life,
अगर एक स्क्वाड्रन है, स्क्वाड्रन में अगर
गाड़ी की जैसे सर्विसिंग होती है,
नहीं, I'll put it in the स्क्वाड्रन में ही जहाँ जा रहा है, the aircraft is taken care by the ground crew of the squadron. That is first line.
Okay.
Then you have it becomes a little more complicated where you need to do certain type of servicing and all that. You go to the tech flight. So that is another line of servicing. Then you have, it has to be major overall. Then it comes back to the OEM, that is HAL, that is third line. So like that.
There's another place, BRDs, right?
BRDs also do overall of the aircraft. Particular aircraft could be fighters.
Minor overall
and
major ones go to
major
HAL.
Also, yes.
Achha, okay. So BRDs also
like a certain BRD is actually producing a MiG-29 upgrade. It has nothing to do with HAL or Russia.
Okay.
This is being produced in India. by Air Force BRD.
Right. So that means the engineers there.
Yes, exactly.
So basically, from this, what we understand is that the engineers and pilots they have a crucial and critical job in the IAF, and what all they do is because I wanted to understand what is the third line, so that those who are watching they understand. Basically, it's like why we require to service an aircraft is to enhance its longevity.
So, if it to inspire the engineers of the Indian Air Force, if they want to, they already are aware of this. But for the young boys who are doing or girls who are doing the engineering, remember that they can also become a test crew.
Okay.
They need not be in the aircraft line. People who are in radars, people who are in SAG, the surface to air ground weapons, engineers from those fields also are qualified and authorized to give the test pilots, the test crew course. They can apply. They can go through the entire process that I told you. And if they qualify, they are trained to be half pilots.
Oh my God,
so
lovely.
You just need that vision that you want to do it. If you want to do it, there is no limit. And honestly, it's only after I became a test pilot that I started seeing aviation in a different way altogether.
Through a different lens.
Totally different lens. It was a different
world
for me. For anyone, for that matter.
Ajay, any experience you had which was unforgettable and something eventful?
The unforgettable memory that I have after being a test pilot is that I got to fly vintage aircraft.
Vintage?
Yes. We were trained. I was lucky to have got trained in the IAF to fly the vintage Second World War aircraft, basically the Tiger Moth, the Howard and the Dakota.
So why do you fly that vintage aircraft?
This is more of a ceremonial, like we have the Surikirans, and similarly we have the vintage flight is basically to inspire the younger generation in the field of aviation and inspire them to join the Indian Air Force. And vintage aircraft is basically showing you the legacy that we had. It's very interesting.
So all vintage aircraft are airworthy?
Yes, they have been certified to be airworthy, only then were they made to fly, which is why initially test pilots were chosen to go and get trained and fly. So the interesting part, one interesting story that I can tell you about my experience with the vintage flight was, I was trained in the UK to fly the Tiger Moth. And there was another pilot who was trained to fly the Howard aircraft, which is the fighter trainer before they go on to Spitfires and Hawker Hurricanes. So that is the bigger aircraft, fighter aircraft. And I was flying the Tiger Moth, which was the basic trainer for the Second World War aircraft, during the olden times. So we were approaching the 8th October fly past where we were supposed to fly, and unfortunately
Where were you flying this?
Hindon.
Hindon.
The aircraft were positioned at Hindon.
So from ASTE you went to Hindon?
I was, to fly these aircraft.
Okay.
So because I had got trained by then on Tiger Moth. So unfortunately the pilot who was flying the Howard met with an accident and he was medically down.
Okay.
So I was told that my other partner who had trained with me would fly the Tiger Moth, and I would be trained in that short period of time to fly the Howard aircraft. And we waited for the instructor to come from UK, who never came. Okay. However, the dates were getting closer, and since we were test crew who was supposed to fly the aircrafts which nobody has flown before, a call was taken by the higher authorities, and they said, Menon, you are cleared to fly the Howard aircraft solo, because there was nobody there to train. So I took up it was a good challenge that I got as an aviator. So I called up my friend who was in the hospital bed.
So how do you fly an aircraft without being trained on it?
That is what you are trained for as a test crew, how to manage each step before you actually go and fly the aircraft. So I studied about the aircraft, studied the books,
so
which was already
how many
available.
Days before were you told?
This is about 10 days before the...
So 10 days, you had some time
Yes, I had some time. Yes, 10 days before the event. So I read about the aircraft and studied, and then I called up my friend poor guy who was in the hospital, and I asked him that the procedure to start up is written like this. Is this how I start? So he gave me a few points and I made a note of that. And the first day I went to the aircraft, did the full externals that normally is done, and I started the aircraft on my own. And the aircraft was started up, and I did a small taxi, which was quite different from the Tiger Moth because it was much bigger and angle was much higher, because these are tail wheel aircraft. So you actually can't see the area ahead. So you have to snake during taxi. So you turn left.
Which
and
is a tail wheel aircraft?
The Howard
is
Tiger Moth,
both
Howard,
are.
even Dakota, all three are tail wheel aircraft.
Yeah,
vintage are tail wheel aircraft.
Tail wheel aircraft, if you can explain, there's a wheel at the rear.
Wheel at the rear. So normally the aircrafts that you see are all tricycle configuration where you have nose wheel in front.
Correct.
And you have two main wheels.
When the modern aircraft.
Yes. Whereas in the olden aircrafts, there used to be the tail wheel configuration where you had two main wheels and the tail had a small wheel for the tail wheel.
So how do you land? Then you land on all the three wheels?
There are two techniques of landing this aircraft. One is you do a 3-pointer landing where you just short of touchdown, you have to stall the aircraft. Where aircraft is not able to fly anymore. You are able to reach an altitude where it is touching all the three wheels together. As a result, you don't take much of the runway length. Another way is a two-wheeler landing, wherein you come parallel, make the two wheels land, and then you slowly put the tail wheel down. The only danger in that thing is there is a dead man zone, wherein the effectiveness of the rudder is not there, and you are likely to get into a ground loop. Ground loop is like when you stop, you don't have the effectiveness of the control on the aircraft when the tail is coming down and she decides to turn to one side. Then even you reach a certain space where you run out of rudder and the aircraft does a full turn on the ground at that speed and you could damage the aircraft itself. In a layman language, I'm sure we have all gone to the supermarket and we catch the trolley in front of us.
Correct.
It is so easy to maneuver it. Imagine if you're walking with that trolley behind you. Now when you move, you see the entire trolley tries to come ahead of you. This is a similar kind of simile that you can say is the tail wheel configuration. So anyway, I started up the aircraft. I did a taxi the next day. To see how the runway looks with that high altitude with the tail wheel down. And then the next day is when I decided to go solo. Now the interesting part is what I had flown before was a Tiger Moth where we have the engines in line. That means all the 6 cylinders are in line. This is a radial engine, very powerful. There are about 12 cylinders which are in a circular phase. So the physics come into being. So the moment you open up the throttle and you raise the nose wheel up, there is a torque which is created and the aircraft tends to turn to any side, which you're supposed to control. Since I was doing it for the first time, nobody had trained me. My friend had already briefed me about it, but actually you see the beast when you actually in front of it.
Yes, absolutely.
So she was a beast because it is much more powerful as compared to a Tiger Moth. So as I opened up I lined up on the runway and I opened up the power, and the moment I left the brakes, she turned 30 degrees. So I got the throttle back and I straight away stopped.
She turned how many degrees?
30 degrees from the center line.
So that
just moved. So it was like at a skewed angle to the runway. And I definitely cannot take off like that. So I stopped. I got her nose straight again. So now I was ready for it. So I slowly opened the power and slowly kept leaving the brakes, continuously adjusting so that her nose remains straight. And at a certain speed, which I was already briefed by my colleague, I unstuck. And the aircraft was cleared up and I did a little bit of handling, what we are generally taught how to assess the aircraft. My friend had already told me what the stall speed is, so I did a general handling to get a know-how of the aircraft. And now when I'm coming in for landing, same issue will happen. Now you are coming back on par. So now the effect is the other way around. So, but I was prepared for this time. So it was interesting because this was the first time I was getting airborne and landing on an aircraft which nobody had trained me for.
So how many sorties these trial sorties you did finally before 8th October?
I did about 3 to 4 because now I had to do aerobatics also on it and maneuvering. Once you are airborne,
you had to do aerobatics also on this
aircraft. Yes, so I got used to the aircraft and then 2-3 sorties. But that's what you are trained for.
That's what the expertise of the test pilot comes in.
So, but that experience of going solo on that aircraft, though I call her a beast, but she is one of my favorite aircraft. Just like the Dakota, I could say.
So literally, you're the person who had to tell you everything theoretically, and
I had to put it to practice. So that is one memorable experience that I had as a test pilot. pilot in the Indian Air Force.
Which is tough, Ajay, the new modern aircraft to land or the old vintage aircraft like that you told about?
Modern aircrafts are very easy to fly.
Tail wheel,
They are all very easy to fly because they are all flown by a computer. So half the time you think you are flying the aircraft, whether it is the computer which is flying the aircraft. Whereas in the olden aircraft, it is you have to get her up and down wherever you require her to be, and she'll respond the way you tell her to respond. So honestly, I became a better pilot after I flew the vintage aircraft.
Because there are no instruments to help you and aid you.
So actually, if you see. The Tiger Moth doesn't even have a VSI, that is a vertical speed indicator, which shows that you're climbing or descending. It is just your height is increasing.
Your visuals, only through visuals.
The grass is looking smaller, so you are going up. It's good fun. And there is no cockpit. The wind is actually blowing on your face.
Really?
It's an open cockpit. It's a beautiful aircraft.
How high can you go like that then without any...
6,000, 7,000. Actually, you can go without oxygen to up to 10,000 feet. Like the Dakota is not a pressurized aircraft. We have ferried the entire aircraft at 10,000 feet.
So 10,000 feet also, there is no external pressure. You can comfortably fly.
Yeah, you can comfortably fly. Yes.
Beyond 10,000
is when you start requiring additional oxygen.
So these two aircraft, like they used to fly maximum up till 10,000.
No, we didn't have to go that high. We could fly 5,000. We flew the Tiger Moth and the Harvard. We have flown up to 5,000, 6,000 feet comfortably. Dakota, we have flown till 12,000 because while ferrying, we had to go over the Andes in France.
Oh my God! So really, you could feel the wind on your face. But isn't it? It would be very hard, no?
No, it's a very slow aircraft, but it's like. It's about 140 km per hour is the speed. It's like on a bike.
It's like a bike. Okay, so it's like riding a bike, flying a bike in the air. Oh, great. Wow. But that would be such an experience.
It's a beautiful experience. I'm telling you, I can't thank God and the Indian Air Force enough to have given me that opportunity.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, and any other, that was all?
The other one, as I was mentioning, the Dakota. So once you
flew the Tiger Moth and Dakota.
Tiger Moth, Harvard and Dakota.
So
I was the demo pilot for all the three aircraft during the air shows for these aircraft.
Demo pilot?
Demonstration pilot for doing the arrows and all that, horizontal maneuvering. So all those things were done by me. And Dakota is very interesting because it was gifted to the Indian Air Force by the Member of Parliament Rajiv Chandrasekhar as a tribute to his father, who was Air Commodore Chandrasekhar.
So he owed this aircraft?
He bought the aircraft from wreckage, and it was resurrected in UK through a company called Reflight. And they were given
Dakota is a UK based.
No, it is a airframe, was Indian airframe, which was resurrected in UK.
Otherwise, its original equipment manufacturer is?
The Dakota was the original, the US aircraft,
DC. US, but it was resurrected by UK.
This was an Indian Air Force airframe. Which was bought as a wreckage by the Member of Parliament and resurrected in UK because that company won the contract to resurrect it. So it was resurrected, certified by the UK agencies, and then we had to ferry it back. So we ferried that aircraft.
Means it was resurrected in UK.
We got trained. We were tasked and bring it back to India with the UK team. So I was a part of the UK team, and I was the other.
That's because this MP gifted it to
and because that was a property of Indian Air Force. So they had to have a Indian Air Force rep.
Did he gift it so that we can get it from UK? Or
it is with us only. It is because it was a tribute to his father, who was a legendary Dakota pilot. And the interesting part is the last leg we were able to get Air Commodore Chandrasekhar onto the aircraft, and we made him fly from he was very emotional. He was emotional, and as we were speaking to him, we learned a lot about the nuances of that aircraft. It was an amazing experience. So the other experience was ferrying the aircraft all the way from UK to India. We ferried from, we did it in stages. We got it from UK to France, France to Greece, Greece to Jordan, Jordan to Manama, that is in Bahrain, Bahrain to Oman, and from Oman to Jamnagar. So we did all this in 9 days, and all that we did was fill her with the 100 LL. It's not the aviation grade fuel; it's an 100 LL petrol.
Okay. It was a different
view with the olden times because it's a piston engine.
Okay.
And
so it's the normal petrol which we put.
No. It's a different
refined version.
Formula One cars and all use it.
Okay, so which is why these countries had it with
yes,
them.
so we had to tie up before we came.
Yeah.
We did all the tie up. The interesting part was when we were flying from Jordan to Manama, that is Bahrain, we had to cross the entire Saudi Arabia. And we were not clear to land in Saudi Arabia, and we had a dust storm. Which lasted,
year was this?
This was in 2017, if my memory serves me right. When we were flying all the way from Jordan to this place, Bahrain, we had to fly the entire stretch of Saudi Arabia, and we were inside a red sandstorm for 3 hours. And she held. And we were shaking the entire time with the aircraft because it's no autopilot, nothing is there. We were literally flying manually for 3 hours in the dust storm because we couldn't go above the storm. We had to fly at 10,000 feet.
So, what was your altitude?
We were at 10,000 feet, 8,000 to 10,000 feet. Okay. We were in the thick of the storm.
And that dust storm was hitting
the entire aircraft was shaking like crazy for the next 3 hours. It was an experience, but she held on. She landed there, and all that was one small split pin which got loose, which we that's all which we corrected, and it was a beautiful experience.
So
and when we were ferrying from Oman to Jamnagar, when we were touching India, is when we were flying parallel about 70-80 miles from the coast of Pakistan. We had 2 Su-30s escorting us all the way back. I mean, we were in international airspace, but the optics was amazing.
Because it's very close to a hostile.
Not that it was very hostile, but the entire optics is also very important.
Very important.
So Dakota being flanked.
Why only in that area? Because it's a hostile country.
No. Then because when we were flying in, these Su-30s were also flying in Jamnagar and did a split as we were coming in for landing. So beautiful. It was it was led by one of my course mates only in the Su-30 squadron. So it was a great experience.
Okay. Yeah. So this all this vintage, like they say, old is gold. So this vintage aircraft, according to you, how would you rate it? It's like
they are my favorites.
Really?
Yeah, they are my favorites. Yeah. I loved flying them. I miss flying the vintage aircraft.
Has there anyone done a statistics? Those time how many accidents used to happen compared to the modern aircraft?
Those times were much more, actually, if you go by sheer statistics.
That's because a lot of it was manual. It was pilot dependent because of that.
And they were older systems.
Older systems.
That's why.
So this aircraft is a risky thing, as you already said. So did you have any near life...
See, we are all trained
near-death experience.
Near death, I wouldn't say that. But yes, we are all trained to retrieve the situation before it becomes a near-death experience. But again, so finally, they are all machines.
Correct.
Things can go wrong anytime. One thing that I can recall is when I was CTP 11 BRD,
CTP
Chief Test Pilot at 11 BRD, my final posting.
11 BRD
I had just converted onto
where is 11 BRD?
I would say somewhere in the western sector.
Okay.
So I had just converted onto a new
BRD is base repair depot
where the Indian Air Force is overhauling and producing new aircraft.
Okay.
Just like what HAL does, it's the Indian Air Force doing it. So I had just got posted in that BRD was overhauling and manufacturing a new fighter aircraft which I had never flown. So I had just converted onto that fighter aircraft from the operations squadron, about 4 or 5 sorties, and I had just come...
Which aircraft was this?
MiG-29s.
Okay.
And I was there in that post, and it's one of the new aircrafts which had come, which had to be tested in one of the first flight of that aircraft, which was not even painted.
Okay. Which year was this?
This was in 2019.
Okay.
And I got airborne and selected the undercarriage up. The undercarriage went up, and there's as we said, you check each and every system one by one. So one of the first tests is to check the undercarriage recycling. When I selected it down, the nose wheel didn't come down. So only the main wheels were down, and the nose wheel didn't come down. Okay. So there are procedures in the flight reference card so as to how to make it come down.
So now you have only two wheels.
Wheels, yeah, main wheels. The nose wheel was not available. So we have a flight reference card which says in case of so and so happening,
So
what are the
first
checks?
tell me something. When did you realize that it's not like how?
There are indications in the aircraft which says
where you were about to land, or
no,
you were in the air and you realized
and I was
this?
supposed to recycle the undercarriage, and the main came down and the nose did not come down. So I did, the indications were there that it is not down. I did the actions as per the FRC, the flight reference card. In case of an emergency of any
certain
systems,
protocols which
you had to do
follow.
certain steps to make sure. Then I came for a visual inspection. By then, my colleague, who was the chief test pilot at HAL, that particular place, he was on the RT by then. And he came up and I said, I'm coming in for a visual check. I came for a visual check, and
When you say visual check,
I come low over the air traffic control, and they see visually in the binocular what the actual, it could be an indication problem also.
Okay. So they are seeing whether
it is actually the undercarriage, because what I am getting is only indication in the cockpit.
Yes, okay.
Whether it is actually, but there are so many cases where the indication is not there, but actually the wheel is down.
Down. So they had to confirm whether
they had to confirm. So it's all as per procedure.
Understood.
So I came and checked. They said no, nose wheel is not down.
Oh my God.
So we had to burn fuel. I had to make all the other aircrafts land because I would be blocking the runway once I come in for landing.
But won't you get priority landing in such a situation?
No, the priority was to recover the other aircrafts, because I have fuel. My only problem was the undercarriage was not coming down.
And you have
I have enough fuel with me, so we're making sure that why make the other aircraft divert and all that.
Correct.
So all the other aircrafts were recovered, and I burnt up the fuel. Now, burning up the fuel is basically to make sure in case something goes wrong and the aircraft kind of disintegrates or something happens, there should not be enough fuel that can catch fire.
Oh, okay.
So which is why you burn up the fuel or jettison the fuel. In this case, we had to burn up the fuel. So we burnt up the fuel, came in for a landing, did a nice landing with the nose wheel, with the main wheels, with the nose wheel not being available, kept the nose up. Now they had to get the nose under control so that it doesn't drop and break the nose itself. So slowly got the aircraft down so that it touches the runway smoothly. It did touch, got the HPs off.
What is HP?
The throttles, the engine power. Got the engine power off, deployed chute, just had the stick back so that the reaction to the aircraft is no weight on the nose wheel. Held the stick back and she just scraped on the runway with the nose. And stopped.
There would be sparks, no?
There were initial sparks. However, it stopped after some time. The aircraft was on the runway, beautifully on the center line.
My God.
And the aircraft,
like situation like this, so you are landing on just two wheels.
Yes.
And then so you touch the aircraft body to the nose.
Yes, nose. I had no option. There was no nose wheel available, so we had to touch that.
Okay, and you have to go in a certain speed. You can't reduce it, or what is that?
No. The thing is, if I reduce the speed too much, then the nose is not in my control; it will just drop.
Okay, so
because there is no lift available on the wing anymore, and it will aerodynamics. So I had to make sure that before that lift is dropped, because it's a reducing speed continuously. So made sure it was a long runway. So made sure that the nose came down, slowly touched, and got the engines off. Deployed chute. Speed
the entire
reduced.
station would have been
the entire station was on the runway.
So
just came out. So by the time I got out of the aircraft, my colleague who was in the ATC was already near the aircraft. So he was very happy.
Because it's
it was. But see, again, things like this do happen.
So that's what pilots are trained for.
Yes, and the good part is that aircraft was again airborne within 3 months. Because the only damage to that aircraft was the paint. Which had got brushed up, and the pitot tube, which checks your speed and all that had got bent obviously, because it was beautiful. But everything came out. So I flew that again.
You saved the aircraft and yourself as well.
But I flew that aircraft again after it was rectified, and it's now in the field flying and doing all the operations.
So my God, that would. So at moments as this, when you have to take split-second decision, Ajay, because it's one wrong decision, and you can't panic also, because if you panic, that you are now literally flying an aircraft which is kind of handicapped, and without being panicky yet landing. That
But
is
I
training
see
come
that is training.
composure.
Absolutely. No, that is absolute training. This is since our cadet days.
Okay.
This is exactly what we are told and
And
taught
trained for,
and
yeah.
trained even on ground, which is why our instructors keep giving
And
us.
your reflexes, you have to shout.
Yeah, that will
Comes
come
by,
automatically.
yeah.
But the training that we all undergo, not only as test pilots, but as even pilots in the Indian Air Force, we are grilled day in and day out by our instructors to a certain standard to know that in case there is some emergency, how you will react, what you will give priority to, and how you will recover yourself and the aircraft safely. You are important.
Absolutely.
Because so much of taxpayers' money has been given to you and for that equipment that you're flying, so that sense of responsibility is there for everyone, and it comes naturally. And to be honest, at that point in time, I'm only thinking of procedures. Okay, I have to do this, I have to check emergency, I have to do check indication, pull some G's to see whether it comes down. It's all as per training and as per the instructions of the FRC. So we are trained to do that. Only after we come out of the cockpit, we realize, this happened.
Because for you it might be just nothing. But
yeah, so as a procedure, you're supposed to go to the hospital and
of course.
yeah,
that
and
is there,
so my doctor said, "Sir, your BP is high." I said, "Obviously, it will be high."
really near death experience
you
had
not
and
like
came
that,
up.
But it's good fun.
Good fun.
Yeah, all in good times.
Oh, great. So, total as a TP, you've been a TP and as you said, you test all types of aircraft. How many aircraft have you tested?
I have flown, by God's grace and luck, about 25 different types of aircraft.
25?
Yes.
My God. So 25 means this is including vintage and...
including vintage, including trainers, including
transports.
fighters, transport, all kind of aircraft. Helicopters, we have only had air experience. I have only air experience, but I have flown.
So which is your favorite aircraft after the vintage aircraft?
See, I am a Jaguar pilot.
So
operationally, I have, I love, because
okay.
Jaguars, I was also a part of an operations squadron which used to do maritime strike. So we had some great flying that we used to do, as a tactics and all. You're supposed to fly very low over the sea and all that. So when you fly with the ship actually over you, it's good fun.
Yeah, I'm sure. And how many weapons have you tested, Ajay?
Weapons. Well, I am now reminded of a very famous dialogue from the movie Top Gun.
Top Gun.
Yeah.
Achha,
if I tell you, then I would have to kill you.
Oh my God. I don't think please take a very careful, considered decision.
Yeah. This I would just say that Operation Sindoor just finished. Many of the weapons that were used were test flown by me many years back during the initial stages of carriage and handling, what I had spoken of. All those were
tested by you.
You feel good. I feel bad actually you're not a part of the operations, but you feel good that you could make a difference. Yeah.
It was great conversation, Ajay. It was beautiful, and through this conversation we came to know that what a test pilot does, their role, how important it is. And in fact, not just them, but even our engineers and scientists, how important and critical and how much they contribute towards nation building. And when they talk about Atmanirbhar, this is what...
absolutely. And I can assure you, we are progressing that way.
And we are as good as... Most of
the countries in many of the aspects,
ways,
and we are catching up with them in the other places too. As I said, we need to have patience. Everything takes time because we need to achieve that operational status being safe. So it's a normal process that will take time. It's just that we started late, but it's good that we have started.
We are catching up very fast,
and we will be there.
We'll be there.
So we are in good hands.
Good hands, certainly. I can see that, Yeah. So thank you so much for your service.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for coming by, Ajay. And
it was a pleasure.
And you're enlightening us about test pilot. And I'm sure those who are watching us, they will know that Air Force is not just about flying. And there is an aspect which is so critical and crucial, which is test pilot. It was wonderful having you, Ajay. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much.